The Killer is a 2023 American action thriller film directed by David Fincher from a screenplay by Andrew Kevin Walker. It is based on the French graphic novel series The Killer, written by Alexis Matz Nolan and illustrated by Luce Jacquemin. The film stars Michael Fassbender alongside Arliss Howard, Charles Parnell, Carey O'Malley, Sala Baker, Sophie Charlotte, and Tilda Swinton in supporting roles. Fassbender plays an assassin who embarks on an international vendetta after a hit goes wrong. Development on the graphic novel adaptation began in 2007 at Paramount Pictures and Plan B Entertainment, with Fincher signed on as director and Alessandro Kamen as screenwriter. In 2021, Fincher later moved the project over to Netflix with Andrew Kevin Walker replacing Kamen as writer. The Killer premiered at the 80th Venice International Film Festival on September 3, 2023. It received a limited theatrical release on October 27, 2023. It began streaming on Netflix on November 10, 2023. The film received positive reviews from critics. A professional assassin stakes out a Parisian hotel room. He prepares to use a sniper rifle to kill a target who will check into the hotel room at an unspecified time. While waiting for the target, he eats, practices yoga, listens to the Smiths, and talks on the phone with his handler, an attorney, and his former university law professor, Edward Eddie Hodges. His target arrives with a dominatrix, and the killer misses his target, accidentally shooting the dominatrix. He flees on an e-scooter, evading the police and disposing of his rifle and gear. He then flies to the United States under fake identities. The killer, returns to his home and hideout in the Dominican Republic to find it has been broken into and his girlfriend Magdala has been attacked. She is in an intensive care unit of a hospital with her brother watching over her. He says that Magdala was interrogated and tortured by two assassins but managed to injure one of them and escape. The killer tracks down the taxi driver, Leo, who drove the assassins to the killer's home. Leo identifies one of the assassins, a strong man with an injured leg, the brute, and a woman who resembled a Q-tip. The killer kills Leo, and he breaks his fight, only the battle you're paid to fight rule, and seeks to track down the two assassins. The killer travels to Hodges' office in New Orleans, Louisiana, and enters the building disguised as a custodial worker. After forcing Dolores, Hodges' secretary, to restrain her boss and herself, the killer destroys the records of their work. As Hodges attempts to get the killer to leave, the killer shoots him in the chest with a nail gun to torture the names of the hitmen out of him. However, Hodges doesn't reveal the names and dies quicker than the killer anticipated. Dolores offers to show the killer the assassin's identities in her paper files in her home, asking in return that the killer give her a non-suspicious death so her children can claim a life insurance payout. After receiving the names at her home, the killer breaks his rule not to show empathy. He snaps her neck and shoves her down a flight of stairs, making the fall look like an accident. He later disposes of Hodges' body on a ship. The killer travels to Chicago, where the client, billionaire venture capitalist Henderson Clay Claiborne, lives in an upscale penthouse. The killer transfers all of his finances to the Dominican Republic under the name Jefferson and observes Claiborne's routine. The killer then uses tools purchased online to clone Claiborne's keycard and enter his penthouse. The killer confronts Claiborne at gunpoint in his penthouse, asking him why he ordered the retaliatory hit. Claiborne claims that he has no personal problem with him and, as a first-time client of a hitman, agreed to pay Hodges for the trail to be scrubbed. The killer spares Claiborne, though promising him a slow death if Claiborne ever comes for him. Later, the killer returns to the Dominican Republic and sits next to a recovering Magdala.